Hello everybody, welcome to the Sound Test Room. Today we are taking a look at Korg Vancouver Gadget, which is a layering melody sampler. I don't know why they called it melody sampler, but it's a sampler. You have two, I know why they called it a layering sampler, because they've got, two layers you can play with. Right, so this is a factory patch. And you can see it just uses this one sample here. Very nice. You can do lots of stuff, right? So you can also import your own samples, which is super handy. If we click on this here, this is the main preset browser. So we could choose, say, another one. Or this one. And if we have a look at the controls, we have, is there another sample on? Yes, yeah, this one uses two samples, right? So when you've got two samples or even one sample, you can go into your mix section and you've got some cool stuff. So your oscillator one is sample one, oscillator two is sample two, obviously. Then you have a sub oscillator. So if we turn the levels down for oscillator 1 and 2 and then turn sub oscillator 1 up, we have three waveforms we can use for our sub, and we can also tune it as well. And you can also tune the oscillators. Whatever you like. So you've got samples that are slightly not in tune with each other. You can mess with the tuning here. Okay, let's choose another one. It's like a mellotron. You also have attack, which is handy to have with a sampler, and release. You can choose what this actually does. So if we have the release off, this is going to be, oh, well, you won't really hear it. It's just going to be super snappy. So you can make kind of pluck sounds. Of course, turn the sustain on and you have a sustaining chord. But you also have lots of control here as well. So you can choose the start point and the end points as well. If we drag this in, I've just got switched reverse on. So you can reverse the sample. You can also loop the sample. If we turn it on, there's a couple of different options here. You turn it on, and it's going to loop, and then you have a loop point control. But you also have smoothing. Which you can play around with to get a better kind of looping point. And of course you can then sort of, sorry, that was my vibrato. So using your mod wheel, you can control the vibrato and the speed of that vibrato is here, or you can just have it turned on. Let's choose another patch. Now you have a bunch of like kind of spatial effects. So nothing, slap back echo, which is really quite good. getting into comb filtering kind of territory. BPM delay. And echo verb. Let's move this down. Sorry about that. Okay. A lo-fi verb, which is nice. Apollo, which is a huge spatial reverb. It's like a shimmer on it as well. Okay, let's turn the depth down of that a little bit. Let's just go back to a kind of... Oh, sorry, and debris. Which is like a kind of weird but cool glitch processor. A really interesting effect. Okay, let's just go back to a kind of an echo verb. You also have polyphonic portamento. And you can choose whether the patch is mono or polyphonic. Like I said, you've seen what these do. It's dead straightforward. It's dead easy. The most fun you'll have is by, of course, importing your own samples and building your own patch. So this is really easy to do. We click on here and we can look at user now. And these are some of the ones that I've just made over the last couple of hours. That was using single cycle waveforms from Electronic Sounds from Dean. So we are going to make a new patch. Now you can overwrite any patch, right? And as soon as you call it something different, your previous patch will be preserved. So for example, this one is called Peaceful, right? But let's do this. Let's start putting in new samples and stuff like this. Let's just kind of set all this back to its default for both of these. I think that's pretty much it. I didn't have loop on for either of them. No, that's fine. Okie dokie. So first thing we're going to do is tap on either one of these samples, right, and click on here. And now you can choose anything that you've imported. Now I'm going to import some new stuff. So it's important that where you initially play, now these are all Dean single cycle waveforms that I imported. And then I made a new folder. So if I click on this, I can choose to create a new folder, or I can import from others. But remember, once you place a sample in a particular folder, Gadget will read from that folder, and the folder is shared across all your gadgets that can use samples. So you just go to your kind of documents and they're all there. I think that makes sense, right? So let's close this now. I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to go into my waves folder and I can choose any of these samples that I've already imported, or I can go here and choose import from others. And this will basically open the file browser. So I'm going to go to my T7. I'm going to scroll down till I find, where are they now? Some instruments. Here we go. I'll find them. It's what's on my external drive. So click on this and then choose something. I'll choose one of these synth samples. I'll choose something from the Prophet 6. I don't know how this is going to sound. So you can import lots of these at the same time, right? So if we select the first 8 of these like this and just open them up, they'll all end up in our A waves category, and there they are, right? So I'm going to choose this Prophet 6 bass drone, and that's installed in. So if we choose another one, it gets installed there. Detune pad, let's click out of that and hear it. And what I'll do is go to the mix here and turn down the levels for the other two. So here's this pad sound here. I wish there was a double tap to reset, but get it as close as possible. Right, so here's that sound, and now we can layer something else on. So let's go to sample 2, click on here again, and maybe look at a Prophet Plucky Wave High. Maybe try that one for this one. And let's go to our mix, turn the level down for this one, and open this one up. So that, oh, that's quite nice. Okay, so let's blend them in now. Maybe tune this one. Let's give it some master volume. Let's put the Apollo on here, which is really cool. Now we could bring in some in fact we could tune the sub up maybe an octave, so it's not so much subby anymore. There we go, that'll do. Maybe have it as a square. There we go. Lovely. Now, this is important. Open up your preset browser, not your sample browser, your preset browser. Do not hit save or it will overwrite your preset. This is what I'm saying. So we'll just call this Lush Pad for now, Lush Pad, and hit save. Now, if you're making your own samples, I suggest you make sure that the note you make the sample in is in C, so everything will map correctly to the keyboard when you bring it into any sampler. Now, like I said, you can also import single cycle waveforms, and if you go to electronicsounds.com, Dean Daughters is giving away it has done for years, a free pack of 100 single cycle waveforms that you can use. Okay, so let's make another one, and this time I will show you something else. Sorry, I'll go to Korg Factory, and if we go down to the bottom here, like in all the gadgets, we can hit initialize patch, and now we can just start to build a new sample. So there won't be anything in sample 2, everything will be reset to 0. So I'm going to open this, go to local. I'm going to go into my waves folder. Oh, by the way, yeah, just quickly, if we did use one of these single cycle waveforms or another single cycle waveform or a wavetable, it's all the same stuff. Click on this one, and if we close it and listen, it's not going to work, right? Because it's a single cycle waveform. So we need to switch loop on and then go higher up, and maybe smooth it out. And then you can we could make a pad. We could bring some square in. But that's how if you put a single cycle waveform in there, you need to make sure loop is engaged. And that would be the same for any sampler. Right, let's replace this with let's make some sort of kind of super cool ambient effect. Make sure I'm in the folder that I want to be in. And I'm going to import from others here like this and go to the drive that I want. And this time I'm going to look for some stuff in the sample packs. We've got some ambient patches here, so I'll import this one, and actually I'll import this one and this one. So texture 2 and texture 5, they will appear here down the bottom, I would imagine. There we go. So I'll put texture 2 in here. Awesome stuff. That's my sub oscillator. See, you don't have to have as a sub oscillator. Okay. So I'm going to make sure that I'm now, unfortunately, you can't normalize this stuff, right? So you'd need to make sure that your because these samples are a little bit too, I'd need to normalize them. I'd do it in BM3 or something, you know. But anyway, now we've got this kind of, it's going to loop as well. Now we can go to sample 2 and maybe put in the other one we had, which was texture 5. Okay, so you can hear that now. Go. And this again is the kind of sample you would want. Tons of reverb on and stuff. And then we could mix so less of that first one. And it's polyphonic as well. So that's a kind of that's a really nice pad. So there you go. Vancouver layering melody sampler, awesome stuff. And on you go, building different patches. It's really nice. But like I said, whenever you have a gadget that accesses it, I mean, in Korg Gadget it does, but I would imagine so as well in the independent gadgets, because all you're doing is accessing a file folder, you know, from your iPad or wherever, you know. Awesome stuff. And then when you've done, make sure that you can go in and go save as and call it whatever you want. I don't know. Ominous pad. Ominous pad. Awesome stuff. And it gets added to your, you know. Nice. Okay. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, consider becoming a Patreon, help support me and Joe here at the Sound Test Too, which we really do appreciate, don't we, darling?
We do.
And yeah, we'll see you later. Ta-ra! Korg Vancouver Gadget. Awesome stuff. Of course, now an AUV3, so you can use it whatever you like.